So size versus strength go hand in hand. To be big, you have to lift big. Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. The difference between training for strength and training for size. So a lot of people think that there are major differences between strength and size. And I want to kind of go over some nuance and talk about how strength is directly correlated to size. And size will come from getting stronger. Now, how do you get stronger? Well, progressive overload, right? That is putting more weight on the bar every workout. Basically what Greg Doucette says, go harder than last time, right? So if you got 135 for 5 reps, the workout before, you aim to get 145 for 5 or 135 for 6. Progressive overload is a key mechanism in growing muscle, right? But that's also how you get stronger, because by increasing the weight and challenging yourself after lifting, recovering, lifting again, that's how you make strength gains. We also know mechanical tension. Now, mechanical tension, once you get used to a certain amount of load, what happens? Your body adapts, you put more weight on, you challenge yourself. You have more mechanical tension on the muscle. So when you're looking at strength, are we talking about powerlifting or are we talking about bodybuilding? For example, in powerlifting, I'm only worried about making your bench press better, making your squat better, and making your deadlift better. Now, a lot of that has to do with technique. So while a powerlifter is concerned with leverage, technique, getting stronger in those movements, a bodybuilder is more interested in getting stronger in all movements and providing more mechanical tension on each muscle, from the biceps to the triceps to the hamstrings to the calves. Whereas a powerlifter, while they cannot neglect those pieces of the puzzle, you gotta look at your body as a chain, right? When I tell kids how to lift, when I'm instructing, I'm like, it all starts on the floor. If you're doing a bench press, you make sure you have your feet in the position you want them to be in. Usually, basically feet down. Sometimes kids go on their toes if they're shorter or based on their appendage length and all that. But essentially, I always say start at the floor. But then your body works in concert to lift in this beautiful chain. And whether you're doing a bench press or a deadlift or a squat, it all begins by pushing through the floor or pushing through the bench. So how you get stronger is, well, in powerlifting, there's leverages involved, right? Maybe you're a wide stance squatter. Maybe you're narrow stance, depending on your physiology. But if you look at bodybuilding, if you look at gaining size, the best way to gain size is to get stronger. And those big 3 lifts, I will argue, for a beginner, is the best way to get bigger and stronger. You don't need to do a back squat. You don't need to do a straight bar deadlift. You could do hex bar deadlifts. You could do, I like SSB squats with the safety bar. I like using goblet squats on the slant board. For deadlift, I like doing variations. We love the hex bar at Legacy. For bench press, we have the kids barbell bench, right? Their bodies are good. Their chance of tearing a pec are much lower. But at 44 years old, with my strength having to do well over 315 to elicit any kind of mechanical tension, the risk for tearing a pec is too high. So I do dumbbells. Many ways to get around that. But strength training and size training are really the same thing. When you take a beginner, a kid, and I always reference this kid named Pete, who worked out alongside me in Illinois at a gym called Ironclad. So he wanted to be a bodybuilder. At 16 years old, we trained together. We trained at the gym, and he was lean, he was shredded, he had some muscle, but he really didn't have mass. And then he's like, you know what, Mark? I'm gonna go join this powerlifting gym. I just wanna powerlift. I wanna see what it's like. Fast forward, in 1 year, this kid made more gains. I'm talking pure, solid, foundational muscular gains from that year of powerlifting than what he did in a year and a half, 2 years of bodybuilding. Powerlifting is the best foundation. There are kids who spin their wheels doing these bodybuilder workouts, but the kids who get really strong, they do the big lifts. The kid we take at Legacy, we're not doing isolation, concentration curls. No, we're doing heavy rows. We're doing heavy presses. We're doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. So we got kids in 8 months from their junior to senior year. One of them just committed to, he's at Louisville right now playing football. He came to us at 208. By the time he went to Louisville, he was in the 250s, 255. Okay, this is a kid who's already gone through puberty. He's already really big, really tall. What did we do different than what he was doing in the past? We challenged him. We did sets to failure. We trained really hard, but it wasn't just strength training. He was also incorporating running and obviously getting his 40-yard dash time from the low fives to the mid fours, right? 4.6 from a 5.2, 5.3. That's what we do. But you got to realize, going off tangent here, for speed, you want to be strong. Speed is generating force off the ground. So you want to be powerful. You want to make sure hex bar deadlift directly correlates to a lower 40-yard dash time. So we want to make sure we look at all these nuances of training. So if I'm trying to get strong, if I'm trying to get big, it goes hand in hand. The best bodybuilders in the world were really strong. Ronnie Coleman. You look at the strongest, in my opinion, the strongest powerlifter of all time, strongest bodybuilder, Johnny Jackson. The density and thickness of his back. You think that came from doing 20 rep rows? You think that, no, that came from doing heavy ass deadlifts. That came from holding 1,000 pounds on his back during a squat. That came from that foundational strength. We have all this data on hypertrophy. And you love to hear about the people with the full ROM and the time under tension and all this. But if you look at in practice, the people who get really, really fucking big, your pre-workout is not doing its job. Let me explain. Most pre-workouts just have one form of caffeine, which spikes you and drops you. What you want is two forms of caffeine, one to get you up and one to keep you up. And that's what we do with MTS Nutrition Ruckus. We have VitaSure and caffeine anhydrous, which makes sure that you get that immediate burst of energy that carries you throughout your workout. Also, the pump ingredients are just trash. What we use is something called NO3T betaine nitrate. Betaine is known for strength and power, and it goes and it combines with that nitrate to provide the pump you've been wanting. MTS Nutrition Ruckus is available now at tigerfitness.com. They are the ones who really go hard. They go really heavy. Obviously, form is a big deal, but then you look at Branch Warren, one of the most muscular of the Olympia, Arnold Classic winner. Branch Warren lifts hard, lifts heavy. Range of motion is whatever. Time under tension is however long it takes to get the bar down and get up. But you can't argue with that. But you see these kids in there doing these meet concentration curls, not generating that intensity, that output to really force growth into the muscle. Look, getting big is hard. Getting big hurts. A lot of bodybuilders, Ronnie Coleman broke his back squatting. A lot of bodybuilders, to get bigger, to make sure they get those gains. You look at these guys like Derek Lunsford. I saw a video of him the other day just like hack squatting with like 10 plates on his side. I do 4. Like, it is absolutely insane. So when people watch me train, like, wow, that guy goes hard. Like, that guy is lifting too heavy. He's gonna hurt himself. Guys, I'm not lifting heavy. Felix Norman, who he moved to Minnesota. He was my training partner for a while out here. He actually placed 5th at the Chicago Pro last year. And I would train with Felix. And he would put on more weight than me and then proceed, when you thought he was failed, like he's barely getting the rep up, he would find it in his head. He's got like 6, 7 plates on whatever leg machine we're using. Somehow he'd will out another 2 reps. He'd just dig deep. Now, if you think that him being that strong is not directly correlated to him being that massive, you're sadly mistaken. So size versus strength go hand in hand. To be big, you have to lift big, okay? And on the complete opposite, going the other way, to be strong, you're probably gonna gain muscle. Now, there are some guys who are phenomenal lifters. I remember when Max Tuning, before he was a sour gummy selling mogul, I remember he got popular deadlifting. Kid would put like 600 pounds on the bar, weighing like 140 pounds, he'd pull it off the ground. There are some instances where strength outpaces size, but generally strength and size go hand in hand. The strongest guys in your gym are generally gonna be the biggest guys in your gym. The biggest guys in your gym are generally gonna be the strongest guys in your gym. So the answer once and for all is that size and strength are directly correlated. There are some outliers, small guys who lift really heavy weights. There are obviously fat guys, big guys, who don't lift much weights. But if you get a big muscular guy, I can assure you, he's lifting a good amount of weight. So hopefully that answered that question with some nuance and some thought, hopefully get you thinking. But next time you go to the gym, before you're eking out those 20 rep sets of isolation curls, realize those are cool. And there are benefits to doing those, blood flow and connective tissue, all that stuff. But do it after you do the sets that really matter. That means 1 to 2 sets, to failure, 4 to 8 reps, all out, everything you got, pushing right up to the edge. Now, going beyond failure, look, man, I know a lot of people who got great gains doing that, but most people I know who got those gains, I know a couple outliers who weren't enhanced. Most of those guys are very enhanced. So I think there is a correlation where I think a lot of people, including myself, who's only on TRT, if I go beyond failure all the time, I'm just not gonna be able to work out. I'm gonna hurt myself and I'm gonna get fatigued. Also your lifestyle, right? Like if you go beyond failure, but all you do all day is play video games and sleep and eat, you'll probably be okay. But if you have a 9-to-5 job, if you got kids, if you got school, if you got work, it's gonna be really hard to do that from a systemic standpoint. Your body just can't hold it up. For the average idiot like me and you, and I'm guessing you're one of those average idiots like myself, the best thing to do, train right up to failure, no need to go beyond. And as far as how often hit body parts, that's beyond the scope of this video. Bottom line is, strength and size are the same damn thing. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. And be sure to go to tigerfitness.com. That's tigerfitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site, including our pre-workout Ruckus. Ruckus has these things called nitrates. So we use betaine nitrate. Betaine, if you look it up, if you look at the data, it's all about strength and power. It does increase that based on the data. But we put that, and it's molded molecularly with nitrates. And nitrates provide this blood flow, this pump, skin splitting pumps, and Ruckus has, check it out, has 2 forms of caffeine. One is a long-acting caffeine as VitaSure, and one is a very fast-acting caffeine anhydrous. So it gets you jacked for the gym, but then you're able to carry that intensity throughout the workout. Go to tigerfitness.com now. It's delicious. We got the fruit punch flavor in stock, and it's called Ruckus. I named my dog after that product. My dog's name is Ruckus. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, because being swole and being strong, that's not a game.